Okay. This is just a quick tutorial to cover some of the stuff that I noticed I missed in the avatar setup guide, pertaining to both the hair on the character as well as the cosmetic color of some of the aspects of the character. First things first, the hair is pretty straightforward. Unlike other character cosmetics, we actually don't need to pass it through the skin mesh update tool. We can actually just drop them directly into the character head. Now, very similar to this method for the hair, can also be used for any other element of the character that you might want to put on the face. This is also just a fundamental thing in Unity as well, so if you would like to, for whatever reason, attach an object to a bone on the character, like say a tool in the character's hand or a backpack to the back of the character, you'll want to find whatever bone you're looking to attach it to. So in the case of the back, you might use spine 3 because that's quite high on the character, or in the case of the hair, we're looking for the head joint. So bind head joint is the one that most of the hair is designed for. I believe any face objects such as glasses or goggles could be applied to the same bone and will most likely end up on the eyes, so long as their pivot points have been set correctly in the exports. So what we're going to do here is we have our bind head joint. We're going to navigate to our base hairstyles under the cosmetic sets folder, and we're just going to pick one of these and say drag and drop the prefab object as a child object to the head joint. You'll notice when you do that it actually pops the head joint open, so you'll see a whole bunch of options here. And if we hit play, we should notice as the character walks, the hair should continue to stay aligned correctly to the head. Now if you were to just drop the hair into the avatar instead of childing it under the head joint object, you might notice that the hair actually won't follow the character for animation. Essentially what's happening here is since it is a child of this bone, it inherits the rotation and offset that this bone also inherits. So if an object, like say for example the neck hair is rotating slightly, the hair object will also move with it. Alright, now that's it for the hair, but you might notice some of the cosmetics in Unity have been forced into a grey color. Now this is of course because we were sort of mid transferring our cosmetic system over to using a shader based solution over a texture based solution. So for the sake of quickly grabbing screenshots of the character, you might find it easier to just edit your colors in say Substance Painter and output a texture into Unity. That's of course the mess way to do it, but if it's for the sake of some quick screenshots, it's probably the preferred method. However, if you wanted to step through the character creation system proper, you'll need to pass things through an updated shader that we have. So in this case we're going to select this skirt object here. Now this is using the sports set MT1, and you'll notice that this material, which can be found either at the bottom of the hierarchy when you have the correct object selected, or if you click on the material directly, it will take you straight to the folder. If we're to select this material, we'll notice it uses the Universal Render Pipeline Toon shader. Now this is the shader that we pretty universally use across everything, with maybe the exception being the character's skin. Things like the eyes and eyebrows also use the same, and same with the hair as well. We actually have some custom spin-off versions of this made by Ruben in order to facilitate the color adjustment. So if we pop open the shader selection up the top of the inspector when we have a material selected, we can come down to the Universal Render Pipeline, we can pop that open, and we'll see we currently have Toon selected, but we also have the option for Toon Clothing and Toon Hair. Now both of these are essentially doing the same thing, but you'll want to choose the one that you're actually looking for, right? So in this case we want to change clothing, and we'll notice the clothing option will do a couple of updates, and it will give us a whole bunch of colors to select from. Now straight up the box, I don't believe editing any particular one of these will really do anything for our cases. What we're looking to do is also get the mask, so the ID mask that we used to use to edit textures is now used directly in the shader to edit the color values. So in this case, I'm going to come over to the project window, and since I already have the material selected under the shared folder, we can just jump straight to textures, and I can just drag and drop the avatar sport ID map into the shader here. Now this should give me the option to start messing with these colors. Oh, we might have the wrong mask. Okay. We need to make sure we're editing the right color box. Sorry, that was the primary top. We're looking for the primary pants. Here we are. And you'll notice this workflow is pretty much identical to what we were looking at on the texture-based system that Tom developed. So we can come in here and we can edit the primary color that has been assigned by the ID mask. We can also edit the secondary color and the tertiary color. And there we are. And the process for this is the same across all character cosmetics. So again, if we wanted to do this to, let's just say, the boots, we'll select boots, we'll select the object that will take us over to the captain set. Now we could just replace the base map with a texture that we output from Substance Designer, but if you're looking to do this purely within Unity and with the textures we already have access to, you'll need to once again change that shader in the universal render pipeline from toon to toon clothing, and then you'll also want to navigate to the textures and drag and drop the ID map in. Now since we're editing the feet here, we'll want to edit the feet primary color and the feet secondary color. And there we are. That's how we can edit the hair offset in regards to the animation and the material colors for the clothing.